God. If I can hear it, YouTube can probably hear it. Hey y'all, how are you doing? I'm doing great. Can you believe how much my hair has grown through all this COVID? Thanks, COVID. I don't know if you guys remember, but right before COVID happened, I decided that I was going to cut off all the bleached hair. Because if you're new, I usually have like candy colored hair or whatever. So I cut off all the bleached because my hair felt like hay, literally felt like hay. Cut off all the bleached and let my hair be healthy like over the winter or summer. I cut it. And so luckily for me, because I usually don't make it past about 3 inches and then I'm ready to shave it off again or do something. But since we were at home quarantined through the odd stage, it was able to grow. So yay me. Okay, what we're doing today is, and I know I'm kind of dull, but I had a store manager's meeting today at work, so I'm a bit conservative today. But you know, deep down in my heart, I'm not. So I finished up, I wanted to wait till I got both of these cowls finished to make a video about it, because on both of these, they were knit patterns and I crocheted them. And anyone that knows me knows that I've been on this trip for a while. My ultimate plan is to design a vanilla crocheted sweater that you can plug color work into, like whatever color work. And if it's a knitting pattern, then you can use center single crochet, which is what I did here. So one, I've used center single crochet, or waistcoat stitch. I call it waistcoat stitch. The Turoco sweater was the first one that I used this on, and it made me nuts. I watched Christy Glass. I know you all know who she is. I watched her video about her Turoco, and I was like, oh my God, I couldn't believe it was crochet. So of course I wanted to do it because I get so tired of the stereotype of crochet just being like big chunky things, which it can be, and that's awesome. But I like wearables, like drapey, nice wearables. And I have hit an age that I'm hot all the time. So I don't want to wear big chunky sweaters. I want to wear fingering weight sweaters. So for me, and I'm sure there's other people out there, I just don't know where you are. Send me a sign, who want to be able to do some of these great color work knitted patterns, but in crochet. I know how to knit, like, well, back up. I knitted when I was a little girl with my mom and my sisters to make just the standard knitted dishcloth. So I have knit before, and I'm planning on doing a challenge. Well, I won't talk about that, but I will be refreshing my knitting skills very soon. But my love is crochet, and I want to be able to crochet and use these beautiful color work sweaters and be able to implement them into a crochet sweater. So my goal is to create a vanilla crochet sweater, unless it exists somewhere, and I don't know. I've looked and looked. So also, if you know that, please send me a sign, send me a comment, and let me know where to go to get it, because I would prefer to already have it and not have to design it myself. But I want a vanilla simple stitch crochet sweater that for a wide range of size, like children's all the way up through like 6X, that we can plug color work into, and just know that the rows need to be in multiples of whatever to make the color work out. so that the color work doesn't overlap. So that's my main goal. Okay, so let's get into this. Actually, before we get into this, let me show you. I went to Hobby Lobby today to get some buttons for a pattern test I just finished. Aren't they cool? And I'll do a finished object video about that, so you'll see that in the near future. And, you know, every other week they alternate sales. So one week it's 30% off fabric, and the next week it's 30% off of yarn. If you buy big box yarn, it's 30% off yarn and 50% off of like trims and stuff. So I met Chelsea there, and she was there to just buy fabric, but I looked through since it was on sale, and I found this, which, you know, I love leopard print, but leopard prints have to be good. Like, I need it to look like the actual fur, or I'm not interested. I don't want it cheesy, unless it's super cheesy, and then I'm in. But I saw this and I was like, ooh, I love it. It looks for real. I'm gonna get some of that. And then I came across this, which reminded me a whole lot of, why am I forgetting her name? Cath Kidston, or Mary Engelbreit, but more so Cath Kidston. And I was like, ooh, I gotta get that. And then just going through the little upholstery fabric, they had this whiteboard that's got like Cape Cod, New England oysters. It reminded me of being at the beach, like at a seafood restaurant. So I want that. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it. And then I turned the corner and saw this trim. So good. So good. And I was like, oh my God, this and the leopard is Betsy Johnson, like 101. So I need another fabric so we can make it Betsy. So, voila. Oh. And then for the lining, oh. And then I grabbed, and that will probably make its debut at Knit and Escape. So me and Cass, under CgCg Yarns. If you don't follow us, you should go find us on YouTube and Instagram and all the places. Cass does the most outrageous, fun yarn, and I do project bags and cake cuffs and such. And this fabric came yesterday. I've been searching and searching for cuff fabric with chickens, so I got that. I'm stoked about that, because y'all know, because I grew up on a farm, I'm all about some farm animals, and mermaid. So we got those. So that's happening. Anyway, so we're vending at Knit and Escape on April the 10th at 6 p.m. And the market ticket is only $10. So you could totally grab you a market ticket. Although you should get the other ticket, because there's tons of classes. It's a whole weekend long thing. I participated in the one in February, and it was a lot of fun. Just as a customer, or as a visitor, attendee, sorry. And it was great. So I'm very excited about vending, but I'll also be attending classes and doing stuff, and they've got lots of good stuff. Okay, so there's all that. So now, is there anything else I want to share? I don't think so. I'm working on some project bags and stuff, but y'all see that on Instagram. Not a big deal. Okay, so first, let's talk about the Choose Your Own Adventure cowl that's designed by Christy Glass Knits. So this was my very first project that was knit, that I wanted to crochet it. And hers, the Choose Your Own Adventure cowl, is a Christmas cowl, designed to be a Christmas cowl, but I wanted to do it for Valentine's Day and make the gifts look like Tiffany boxes. And then the hearts, of course, are great. So, one thing about crochet that if you crochet, you know, and if you don't, you may not. The chain that you do, so instead of casting on, you make a chain of however many stitches your starting row will be. And the chain is rather, it's not even tight, it doesn't give. The chain doesn't give. So whatever your first row, whatever end your first row was on, will not stretch. Which for me is this one. I started at the bottom. And you can see I also messed up on the count to get the motif evenly around the back. Hi. So there is a remedy for that, which I used on the next one that I'm going to show you. So I used the center single crochet, and I used DK yarn, which is what the pattern was written for, I believe. This is Berroco vintage yarn, which is just an acrylic wool blend from my local yarn shop, but it's a national brand. You can get it anywhere. I did the center single crochet, and you can see it looks just like a knit stitch. Focus. There we go. See? So you're actually splitting the legs of the single crochet instead of going in through the top V. So the thing with that, if you use the exact weight of yarn with the exact same hook size that they use, that the pattern calls for needle size, the crochet stitch is taller. So you can see how tall this would be on my neck, which is comparable to the one that Christy shows all the time that she wears, but hers has like 4 motifs, whereas mine only has 2 and some of the borders. So I feel like what I need to do the next time I do the color work where I'm trying to do, which this is fine, but of course I would rather have more like hearts and stuff. I wanted to do some other colors. I need to like use a fingering weight yarn probably, and go down much smaller on the hook size, because what I found is that stitch per stitch, knit versus crochet, crochet stitches are bigger. We already know that they're thicker, which is why they take more yarn, but they're also taller. So that's that one. I love how it turned out though. Isn't it cute? It's so cute. And it also, like, it's so dense because I use the yarn weight and the hook size exactly what was called for in the pattern. Like, I can't do that because it's just too dense. It doesn't drape right. But it's so cute. Okay, so there's that. And then the next one is called the Sweetly Striped Cowl by Buku Yarns. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. It's BUKU Yarns. I will insert a picture. So she came out over Valentine's Day with a mini skein set that had the cutest packaging in the history of mankind, with vintage little Valentine motifs. And I had to buy it, and she was super nice because I actually saw it after she had already closed the pre-order, but she got me in there so I could get one, and I was so happy. So, and in the picture, which hopefully I'm showing you right now, the skeins were so cute. And then she did a cowl pattern and let the people that bought the set have it for free, but it is on Ravelry as a paid pattern. So this, I just used single crochet, and I started following the pattern, you know, as it was. I knew that I would run out of, or would not have enough yarn to do exactly the pattern, because crochet takes about 1.5 times what knit does. So you've only got so much yarn when you buy a kit or a set. So I knew I could either have the right width of a cowl and it be a lot shorter, or do a skinnier cowl and have a lot of length. And the length is what I wanted, because I usually wear them with t-shirts in the winter because I don't like to wear coats, but I want my neck kept on. So I did a longer, turn it this way. I did a longer, skinnier cowl, and I love it so much. Let me put it on for you. And you can see by the finished picture that I also will insert from the pattern how wide it's supposed to be. And mine is not that wide. It actually should come down. Now, if I had bought 2 kits, I could totally do that. But I love this. It's so pretty. And I was so happy that I did it. And I just did single crochet. Nothing fancy. Single crochet instead of the knit stitch. And I just followed the pattern. But when I started 40 stitches less than what it called for. And I was just I would go and just see how it went around my neck. And then I did the decreases the same as it did in the pattern, just not as deep of a decrease, if that makes sense. And also on this one, you can see my starting chain is stretchy, and I wanted it to roll because the pattern calls, the way they knit it is so you get a roll at the top and the bottom. So there's a technique that's called foundationless chain, something like that. I had seen it before, but I didn't understand how to use it. And you know, when you're making blankets and stuff, like me, who cares? You're just crocheting a blanket. But for wearables, it's great because instead of just chaining a certain number, you chain and work your first row all at the same time. So, and it can be single, double, half double, triple, whatever, as long as it's a regular crochet stitch. And then you get that stretch. You get 2 rows knocked out at one time. And I hate, like, once you make the chain, crocheting into the chain, that first row always sucks. So it's much better on that. And I'll put a link to tutorial in the description box so you can see that, because it will change your life, I promise. And that's all I've got for right now. I'm putting the buttons on it's called the Granger Cardigan that I tested for Pink Sheep Designs. She does Harry Potter themed cardigans, and I've done another one of hers before, which y'all have seen the video for. So I got to put the buttons on this one and get it done, and I will keep y'all updated on the saga of the crochet stitched knitted items. And I hope you have a great day. Bye.